Hello, hello, it's Mr. Van Dong here. We're working on Chapter 10, Lesson 11, Divide Unit Fractions by Whole Numbers, and this is your online video helper for our distance learning model. This is the first one! Hooray! I'm so glad that you're here, still learning with me in class, even though you're not actually in front of me. I can pretend, it'll be fine. We've done this. Yes! Now, at the point that you're seeing this, it's actually going to have been over a week since you've practiced this skill, but you already did this in Lesson 9. And now that you have your math book, you can look back and review how we've done it before. But this is the idea that we have. Remember, the most important thing when you're dividing with fractions is that first number. What do you have? We have a half, or we have a fourth. What do you have? And then share it with people. That's all we're doing when our dividend, when the number we're going to break apart is a fraction. We need to be thinking about we have some leftovers in the fridge, and then we're going to break apart. Now, even though in our workbook it's got like word problems that have to do with music, like I don't care. I can use my imagination and pretend that it's actually ice cream cake, because all I really want to do is think about ice cream cake. You know how much ice cream cake I've been eating? None, but I wish it was a lot. So let's go ahead and jump on in. So we're on page 771 in our My Math books as we are engaging in distance learning. So here we go. Example 1. Elijah is sorting his music into playlists. One half of his music is rock. He wants to make 3 separate rock playlists. If each playlist is the same size, what fraction of Elijah's music will be on one of the rock playlists? So what does he have? He has one half of his music is rock. So he has a half. And he's dividing it into 3 groups. So once I can generate 1/2 divided by 3, which the book just gives you, then I can draw my ice cream cake models. Now I know it gives you other models, and I don't care. Their models are garbage. You're going to draw ice cream cake models. So what have we got? Let's draw. We draw that we have 1/2. And I am going to just keep using black. There we go. So I have a half of an ice cream cake is what I'm thinking about at this time. 3 people are going to share it. Well, what do we need to do then? We probably need to cut it into 3 pieces. Okay, well, I need 2 horizontal cuts. Now, 3 people could share that ice cream cake. And what would each person eat? Each person would eat 1/3 of what's there. So in this case, each person eats that much right there. Well, how much of a whole ice cream cake do they eat? And they ate 1 slice out of, would have taken 6 at this point to come up with a whole cake. So each person ate 1/6 of a whole cake in this particular case. Or if we relate it back to the actual problem, every playlist, each playlist is the same size. What fraction of his music will be on one of the rock playlists? 1/6 will be on each. So it's always easier to just think about ice cream cake, though. Just do that. All right, let's do the next problem. So you can turn the page, and we'll look at another example problem here. In the buffet line, it's much food. It's going to be better. There was only 1/4 of a pan of spaghetti left. 3 friends decide to divide the spaghetti evenly. What fraction of a whole pan of spaghetti did each friend receive? Find the unknown. So 1/4 divided by 3 equals S. So remember, S is just an empty box. We just don't know what it is yet. We're still going to solve the problem the same. We're solving for S, and then they call it algebra because there's letters instead of numbers. But it's the same as any other problem. What do we have? We have 1/4 of, in this case, it's a pan of spaghetti. And I can imagine spaghetti. Now, remember that you want to cut your leftovers vertically all the time. So if you're thinking, oh, I could make like a T to make force doom, probably that. So we want to make them always vertical cuts for what our leftovers are. Okay, well, what are we doing with that 1/4 of a whatever it is, spaghetti? Pretend spaghetti's somehow been cut like that. It'll work out. We're sharing it with 3 people, just like in the other problem. So if I'm going to share it with 3 people, I better cut what's there up into 3 pieces. So I make 2 cuts, and everybody eats 1/3 of what's there. So in this case, everybody eats that much. Well, what part of a whole pan of spaghetti in this particular case did they eat? Well, they ate 1 slice, and how many slices would it take to make a whole? It would take 12. How did I know it was 12 without counting them one at a time? It's a 3 by 4. 3 times 4 being 12. You can count them one at a time. It's fine. Doesn't take that long. So in this case, the answer is 1/12. S is equal to 1/12. If we're going to do their algebra business. So everybody gets a 1/12 of a whole plate of spaghetti or whatever it is. So that's how a review, because we've done this before, this is how we visually solve dividing unit fractions by whole numbers. Remember that you're tested in 5th grade about your ability to draw the picture and not get an answer. Some of you are noticing patterns with multiplication to quickly find denominators, and whoop-de-doo, that's fine, but I don't care. You have to be able to draw the picture of what's happening in real space in order to show your understanding of this concept. In middle school, you'll learn shortcut methods involving a fancy thing called a reciprocal, and we don't care right now. Okay? Our focus right now is, can you draw a picture of what's actually happening? Take a look at the guided practice problem now. Go ahead and pause the video and solve that problem. And then you can resume the video when you're done with that problem. I'll tell you what the answer is. Make sure you got it right. Remember to draw your own models. All right, welcome back. Thanks for pressing play again and unpausing me. I was frozen. It was very cold. I was singing songs straight out of Disney, and it was really uncomfortable for everyone involved. So thanks for unfreezing me. See what I did there? The problem you should have solved was 1/3 divided by 3. You should have had 1/3 of an ice cream cake, and then you should have cut it into thirds, with each person eating 1/9 of that ice cream cake. So 1/9 was the answer to the warm-up problem. I hope you got it. If you didn't, review it right now. And go ahead and begin working on both the independent practice page, drawing your own models, ice cream cake models. Don't use their models. And then again on the back, these ones right here too. Do all of these. If you get to things that you're like, I have no idea what that's about, Mr. Van Donk didn't prepare me for that. It's okay. You do your best on it and skip it if you can. Skip it if you can't. And you're going to work for a total of up to 45 minutes right now, including this lesson. So I don't know how long this video was, but extra math, subtract the length of this video from 45, and that's how many minutes you should work on your independent practice. If you finish all this early, just move on to the next thing. All right, thanks for joining me, and I'll see you tomorrow.